O.J. Simpson is a fugitive. After being charged with 2 murders, a California manhunt is underway. The news stuns a world that had come to know Simpson as an American success story. From the White House tonight, more confusion on Korea. What did Jimmy Carter say to the North Koreans?
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. There are continuing shocking developments in a case that seemed to have exhausted all of its shock value. O.J. Simpson, now formally charged with a pair of gruesome murders, is a fugitive tonight. There is a manhunt underway in Southern California, and O.J. Simpson, the 46-year-old former football star, one of America's best-known personalities, faces the possibility of the death penalty. We begin our extraordinary coverage now with NBC's Larry Carroll.
Commander David Gascon delivered the stunning news.
Mr. Simpson has not appeared. The Los Angeles Police Department right now is actively searching for Mr. Simpson.
Gascon said Simpson agreed through his attorney to turn himself in late this morning, but by this afternoon there was still no sign of Simpson.
The Los Angeles Police Department is also very unhappy with the activities surrounding his failure to surrender. We will continue our pursuit of Mr. Simpson and hope to have him in custody soon.
The news came just hours after Los Angeles police filed a formal complaint against Simpson, charging him with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of his ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ronald Goldman. The complaint charges that Simpson, armed with a knife, quote, did willfully, unlawfully, and with malice and aforethought murder Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being. A second complaint names Ronald Lyle Goldman as a second victim. Under California law, a multiple murder allegation could lead to the death penalty. Citing the brutality of the crimes, prosecutors recommended that Simpson be held without bail. Based on leaks to the media by the Los Angeles Police Department, here's what we know about the case against O.J. Simpson. A bloody work glove removed from the crime scene matched another at O.J. Simpson's estate. Bloodstains found on the driveway at O.J. Simpson's home. A pair of tennis shoes. A white Ford Bronco, the inside soaked with blood. O.J. Simpson's blood type matched blood found at the crime scene. Blood-soaked clothing in the washing machine of the O.J. Simpson estate. A military-style entrenching shovel and a ski mask, both with traces of blood, and samples of human flesh, allegedly matching O.J. Simpson's at the crime scene. In the formal complaint filed today, the murder weapon is described as a knife. Late this afternoon, a 911 call summoned police detectives back to the scene of the crime in Brentwood, the former home of Nicole Brown Simpson. That call made by Nicole Brown Simpson's father. Police detectives told us that at that time that they arrived, O.J. Simpson was not there. They do not know exactly what is going on. Late this afternoon, an angry District Attorney Gil Garcetti held a news conference warning that anyone found guilty of harboring or hiding O.J. Simpson is also guilty of a felony. Also, late this afternoon, NBC News has learned that a DNA match has been made between blood samples found at the crime scene and O.J. Simpson. Tonight, Los Angeles police have issued an all-points bulletin for O.J. Simpson. He is described as potentially armed and dangerous. Larry Carroll, NBC News, Los Angeles.
The Los Angeles District Attorney Gil Garcetti held his own news conference late this afternoon. He described the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of O.J. Simpson and what Mr. Simpson faces if he is apprehended. Here is some of that news conference.
Mr. Shapiro was told you surrender him at 11 o'clock at Parker Center. He agreed.
When was the last time that anybody in L.A. law enforcement knew for certain Mr. Simpson's whereabouts?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I do not know.
Let's assume for the minute that we find him or he is found shortly. Can you talk without going into too much of your evidence of your case about what you believe happened Sunday night? What happened at the murder scene?
No, even though I'm upset and angry about what is taking place right now, in fairness to Mr. Simpson, it would not be fair if we started discussing the evidence, especially before even his lawyers have looked at the evidence. I am personally satisfied. I have 2 top lawyers who've looked at it, plus other lawyers in our office. There was substantial evidence there warranting these charges.
Well, without discussing the evidence, is it possible to sketch it in general terms what happened?
We have not found the murder weapon. It's
You say it's a knife?
it's a knife. It's a knife.
Mr. Garcetti, we have information that these were very, very severe wounds that could only be caused by something other than a conventional knife, if you will. Can you somehow, I realize since you don't have it, you can't be precise, but can you characterize it in any way? Obviously, this is not a pocket knife we're talking about.
It's a substantial knife.
There's no allegation of lying in wait in the complaint?
No.
Is that a decision that you made?
Let me point something out. The investigation is still ongoing. In fact, I would urge any viewers, any listeners, anyone who reads your newspapers, that if you were in the vicinity of Bundy and Wilshire Boulevard on Sunday night, if you have any information that might assist us, contact the Los Angeles Police Department. As I said, the investigation is still underway. We are not finished. The question was whether we'd be seeking the death penalty. Obviously, that decision is the most important decision we can make in any case. We will treat this case the way we would any case in which a defendant is eligible for the death penalty. Mr. Simpson, under these charges, is in fact eligible for the death penalty. However, we will not make a decision until after we have had an opportunity to review the actual court testimony of our witnesses, preliminary hearing, grand jury, whatever it might be, so that we can then make, I think, a more informed decision as to what evidence we actually have.
Gil Garcetti, the Los Angeles District Attorney. O.J. Simpson remains at large tonight. Dr. Michael Baden, a pathologist who was working with O.J. Simpson's legal defense team, told Reuters, the news service, that O.J. Simpson was depressed before he disappeared. And according to Dr. Baden, he said, quote, "I hope he doesn't hurt himself." We'll be right back with more on this case.
Hey, nice bowl of cornflakes.
Yeah, I eat them all the time.
Well, you could eat Total and get 100% of 12 vitamins and minerals. Try to get that from cornflakes, and you'll have to add more than just milk.
Like what?
Well, you could try strawberries for vitamin C, wheat germ for some E,
What germ?
asparagus for folic acid, spinach for A, oysters for iron. Look out.
I'll try Total.
Whole grain Total. One bowl, 100%. Hey, looks like you like it, too.
You like milk and it shows. You like milk and it shows. You like milk and it shows. You feel up and alive. You got energy and drive, yeah. You like milk and it shows.
Milk, it does a body good with calcium for healthy teeth, riboflavin to help release energy, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
Milk and it shows. It does a body good.
My name is Lisa Pretter, and I'm an emergency medical technician. My job is very stressful, and sometimes I get headaches. I take Anacin. There's a lot in my life between my children and my work, and I can't let a headache stop me from doing my job. I mean, we're talking emergencies where seconds count.
Anacin is so strong it gets rid of a headache better than any regular strength aspirin.
If someone needs help, they're not concerned with whether or not I have a headache. And Anacin lets me get back on the job and do what I need to do.
Strong, fast Anacin works better on your headache so you can work better.
Once in a while, a breakthrough comes along, like a flat latex wall paint that holds up against stains. New Everclean, only from Sherwin-Williams. We'll take tough stains like grease, red wine, tea, grape juice, coffee, mustard, and let them set overnight. Everclean is the flat latex wall paint with a finish so smooth stains don't stick. Stains don't stand a chance with new Everclean.
Sherwin-Williams.
One of the best-known lawyers in Los Angeles is with us tonight to discuss the O.J. Simpson case. He is Johnny Cochran. You saw him last representing Michael Jackson and the charges of child abuse. Mr. Cochran, how could a lawyer let his client get away in a high-visibility case like this?
Well, it's it's a very difficult situation because all you have is your credibility. I would suspect, knowing Mr. Shapiro, that when he made a representation he would self-surrender his client, that his client indicated he would be surrendered. So I'm sure everybody has egg on their face. Now the police do, Mr. Shapiro does, and it's a difficult situation, Tom, because it diminishes all of us, and hopefully this matter will be worked out in the very near future.
It's no surprise that you're close to many of the parties in this case. What do you think has happened here, Mr. Cochran?
It's really difficult to speculate. It's very hard, though, for one to come to grips with the fact that they're charged with a double murder for which they could receive the death penalty. And at some point, I would suspect Mr. Shapiro had to have that conversation. And I just don't know. It's difficult to speculate as to what Mr. Simpson's reaction was when that took place.
Based on what you have been hearing from the Los Angeles authorities today, it does appear that they had a very strong case.
Well, from what they said, they have been rather responsible. Certainly the district attorney, even though he said he was angry, he did not divulge the evidence, but they certainly have certain blood type matches and several other things. So it seems as though they have a case by which they could file. But I want to caution everyone that in this country, a man is presumed to be innocent regardless of his station, and keep that in mind. It certainly doesn't help, though, with Mr. Simpson being on the run, as it were, at this point. I hope that situation will soon abate.
And if he is apprehended, is it going to make the case all the more difficult to try for Mr. Shapiro or whoever the lawyer is?
Well, it'll make it more difficult because obviously there's a jury instruction which addresses the question if you run as being a consciousness of your guilt, and you don't want to have that. So hopefully it's just some misunderstanding and it can be worked out. I certainly hope that's the situation, and I certainly hope for the best for Mr. Simpson and for everybody associated with this case. Tom, this has been a real tragedy in Los Angeles for really all of us.
All right, thank you very much, Johnny Cochran. We have just been told as well that this evening at about 8 o'clock Eastern time, that would be 5 o'clock West Coast time, that Robert Shapiro, who has been representing O.J. Simpson, will have his own news conference. It is almost impossible, of course, to overstate the place of O.J. Simpson in the American popular culture. For more than 25 years now, Orenthal James Simpson, O.J., the Juice, he's been part of our lives. For millions of Americans, it is hard to believe tonight. Here's NBC's Brian Williams.
O.J. Simpson is as large a national figure as the world of sports has produced in the past several decades. On the football field, he made it look effortless, rewriting the record books, performing with skill and grace on his way to the Hall of Fame. But it didn't end there. He went on to star in several films in various roles in dramas and comedies. He became the face of a rental car company and is under long-term contract with NBC Sports as a football analyst. In New York today, news of the still-developing story was beamed down upon a city in the middle of a celebration of the Rangers Stanley Cup victory. It left fans talking about the man who meant so much to their lives.
I'm heartsick. He was one of the icons that had the charm that a Magic Johnson had, and only a few other people in a generation.
I don't think he should have did it because he had so much people looking up to him. And I think it was wrong for him to do that.
I mean, I realized he was a great football player and he was a role model, but if it were me, I'd go to jail, and if he did it, then he should go to jail just as well.
In Chicago, fans jammed the phone lines to share their shock on talk radio.
I'm sharing the devastation today. I think that I try to explain to my kids that would be like Michael Jordan doing something like this.
And in Los Angeles, where Simpson came to prominence as a University of Southern California running back, local television stayed on the air with the story.
I'm sorry to see it happen to him, but what can you say? I mean, he was there when I was younger, you know. It's the Jews.
I don't want to believe that he did it, and I hope he didn't. We're sports fans, and we feel that, you know, we put our sports heroes up on top.
Sports writer Mike Lupica warns against seeing sports heroes as role models.
If there's a lesson about this, to think that celebrities in this country operate on some different plane and are immune to this sort of tragedy is crazy.
The camera has always loved O.J. Simpson. So have millions of Americans who now begin getting used to the idea of a sports hero, an American idol, missing tonight and charged in the murder of his ex-wife and another man. Brian Williams, NBC News, New York.
In a moment, there are important developments tonight about North Korea and also the beginning of the World Cup in soccer right here in the United States. We'll be right back.
A company most people never heard of is changing the way we fight cancer and kidney failure. By inducing the body to produce blood cells, chemotherapy and anemia patients are gaining new strength. Helping to grow blood cells helped Amgen become the world's largest independent biotech company. Where do you find companies with such pioneering spirit? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
How can something non-alcoholic taste this good, huh?
Funny you should ask, Jim. Unlike some other NAs, Old Milwaukee starts with fully fermented beer and uses this Centrotherm with its unique rotating evaporator system to carefully remove the alcohol.
So, full-bodied beer flavor is never compromised?
Exactly, that's the beauty of the Centrotherm.
For a non-alcoholic brew that tastes like beer, it doesn't get any better than this.
Who said that?
Hey, way down in LaBelle, Florida, Ace is the place.
Because we're ready to help.
Jump into June with incredible savings at Ace. Now get an Ace 60-foot rubber vinyl garden hose for just $8.99.
Hey, Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
Today, there's Protegra, the all-antioxidant vitamin mineral supplement with more vitamin E, C, and beta-carotene. To boost your antioxidant levels, even if you take a multivitamin, add Protegra, the good news in antioxidants.
Any kids around, Aunt Jane?
Sorry, Billy, not your age.
A little earlier, Jane Stewart was troubled with arthritis pain, so she took a Motrin IB. The same Motrin doctors have prescribed for years, but in non-prescription strength. And just one Motrin IB is as effective as 2 regular aspirin.
All right, kid. Let's see what you got.
Aunt Jane?
Come on.
Motrin IB, the relief of Motrin in non-prescription strength. Now available in a new, easy-to-open, fast cap package.
You like milk and it shows. You like milk and it shows. You like milk and it shows. You've got baby soft skin. You like milk and it shows. And a big healthy grin. You like milk and it shows.
Milk, it does a body good with vitamin A to help keep skin smooth, calcium for strong bones, and protein to help build muscle.
You like milk and it shows. It does a body good.
The Korea crisis now. Former President Jimmy Carter's trip to North Korea was intended to help resolve the standoff over nuclear inspections, but confusion today in Washington has left some people wondering who's in charge here. NBC's Andrea Mitchell has more tonight.
Former President Jimmy Carter sent the White House into a diplomatic tailspin, telling Kim Il-sung that the United States was no longer seeking sanctions against his regime.
And would like to inform you that they have stopped the sanctions activity in the United Nations.
Even though Mr. Carter had been briefed by the administration before leaving, Mr. Clinton made it clear today in Chicago that Jimmy Carter does not speak for him.
I don't know what he said, and I don't know that you know what he said. All I know is what I said, and what I said is the policy of the United States of America.
A few minutes later, the president said the U.S. will keep demanding sanctions until he knows whether North Korea has really made any concessions.
If the North Koreans met yesterday when they said they would leave the inspectors and the equipment there, if they meant that they would cease their nuclear operations while talks went on, then we could have talks.
Carter has not been in touch with the White House for more than 24 hours, leaving top officials in the dark.
Bear in mind that we're in a short period of time right now during which we're awaiting clarification. But there'll be clarification. We'll get an accurate reading of exactly what they're saying and what they're not saying. We hope that they're presenting something new.
To critics, the confusion signaled weakness when what's needed is strength.
I think that that the administration has got to determine what its policy is going to be from here on. It can't equivocate. It can't stop and go, and it has to adopt a policy and then speak with one voice and send one very clear signal.
Baker believes the administration should send more forces to Korea right away. But top Pentagon officials told Congress today that the U.S. commander in South Korea believes he has everything he needs and that the rhetoric should be toned down. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News at the White House.
In Chicago tonight, the opening of the biggest sporting event on earth. It's called World Cup Soccer, and President Clinton was there today to help kick off the World Cup tournament. It's the first ever held in the United States. With him, the presidents of Germany and Bolivia, whose teams compete in Game 1 tonight. The irony, of course, is that the World Cup tournament, which amounts to a global World Series of soccer, is being held here in the United States, where soccer, as a spectator sport, ranks somewhere between bowling and badminton. Can you name any of the players on the U.S. World Cup team? NBC George Lewis tonight has a program for the players.
Members of the USA team freely admit it. They are the Rodney Dangerfields of the soccer world. They don't get no respect in this country.
You go overseas and you're respected by everyone. Everyone knows who you are when you're walking down the street. You know, people are running up to you asking for autographs. You come back to the United States and people just look at me and go, oh, who's that guy with the hair, you know?
7 out of 22 American players were born overseas, and 7 have played on professional teams in other countries. Soccer is big stuff everywhere but here. Earlier this month, when Team USA played Mexico in an exhibition at the Rose Bowl, the Americans had no home field advantage. Practically everyone there was rooting for the Mexican team.
We had 90,000 Mexicans screaming for Mexico. So we were a little bit of a disadvantage with that, but we seemed to come through it.
Come through it they did. Roy Wegerle, born in South Africa, normally a star for Coventry, England, scoring the only goal of the game to give the USA's melting pot team the win. The World Cup remains an event for people like these Brazilians who hail from somewhere else.
It is in your veins. You gotta feel like the American people feel baseball and football. We feel about soccer.
The USA team is rated a 50-1 long shot in the World Cup competition. Players are just hoping to do well enough to attract some new fans to the game here.
It's going to give people who maybe don't know anything about soccer the opportunity to see what soccer is when it's played at its highest level by the best players in the world.
Regardless of how well Team USA does, the players say it's a thrill just being able to play this caliber of soccer in this country. George Lewis, NBC News, Los Angeles.
In Texas today, 8 members of the Branch Davidian sect were sentenced to 5 to 40 years in prison for crimes ranging from weapons possession to manslaughter. The followers of David Koresh's cult had been convicted in last year's shooting deaths of 4 federal agents at the time of the raid. On Wall Street today, the Dow dropped more than 34 points. Trading today was very heavy. Back in a moment, thrill seekers in Moscow.
Louise here was saying that she will not freeze her hearty chicken soup in Gladlock zipper bags.
No, I'll only use the bag my mother uses.
Really? Well, let's go live to your parents' house.
Louise, we've switched to Gladlock zipper bags. Their yellow and blue make green seal shows the bag is closed. Your bag doesn't have a green seal. If you'd visit more often, you'd know that.
I'll switch to Gladlock, too.
Isn't it nice to see Gladlock bringing families together? When it really counts, only Gladlock has the yellow and blue make green seal.
How can something non-alcoholic taste this good, huh?
Funny you should ask, Jim. Unlike some other NAs, Old Milwaukee starts with fully fermented beer and uses this centrotherm with its unique rotating evaporator system to carefully remove the alcohol.
So, full-bodied beer flavors never compromised?
Exactly. That's the beauty of the centrotherm.
For a non-alcoholic brew that tastes like beer, it doesn't get any better than this.
Who said that?
Remember summer mornings? And blueberries so sweet you want to put them in a box and enjoy them all year long? That's the taste captured in new Blueberry Morning cereal. A cereal with real whole blueberries, ripened by the summer sun. But more than just blueberries, it's the most delightful mix of light, crispy flakes, golden oat clusters, and almonds you've ever tasted. It's all there.
New Post Blueberry Morning Cereal. Enjoy sweet summer blueberries all year long.
How much closer are our precision heads? Our innovative lift-in cup system? How much better is the latest Norelco? In a word, we've never brought you closer. The Norelco Razor, our closest shave ever.
It's the Olive Garden's fresh thinking that makes exciting new dishes, like our pasta chips and dip, fresh capellini pomodoro, and Caesar salad pizza. Fresh new dishes priced right now at the Olive Garden.
Here's the choice, Thompson's now or rebuild later. Over time, water invisibly weakens unprotected wood. Used regularly, Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofer helps stop costly damage. Keep up your protection, maintain your investment with Thompson's now.
It's the creamiest, the Vita shells and cheese. It's the creamiest, the dreamiest. Forget the powder, please. Only we taste like this. Velveeta makes it the creamiest. Velveeta shells and cheese.
In New York today, a victory celebration that's been a long time coming. Manhattan's Canyon of Heroes, ticker tape for the New York Rangers, winners of Hockey Stanley Cup. The Rangers defeated Vancouver for the team's first championship in 54 years. About 1.5 million people turned out for the parade. As if that weren't enough for New York today, another 750,000 people are converging on the city for a weekend that will be part athletic competition, part celebration, and part lesson in tolerance. NBC's Rahema Ellis has more tonight.
All over the city this week, athletes practiced for the 31 competitions set to take place over the next 8 days. Some events are likely to raise eyebrows, even among New Yorkers accustomed to the unconventional. Organizers hope the sheer number of participants will send a message.
Gays and lesbians are everywhere, and basically that we're in sports just as we are in arts, we're baseball players just as we are hairdressers.
They are even Olympic champions. Bruce Hayes won a gold medal in the 800-meter relay race in 1984. Hayes felt pressure then to conceal his sexuality for fear of repercussions.
For me, at age 21, under that kind of pressure to have contemplated coming out with all of the consequences that would have brought was just unthinkable.
He is not alone. Four-time gold medalist Greg Louganis will make his first public appearance as a gay athlete at the Games, performing exhibition dives. The Games were founded by Tom Waddell, an Olympic athlete who competed in 1968. Waddell was gay too and understood the fear of coming out. So in 1982, he created the Games inspired by tolerance. The Games are open to everyone, and there are no qualifying trials to get in.
Nothing political or anything or to prove a point. It's just a lot of fun.
But with 750,000 visitors gathering for the Gay Games, they are making a point. Gays and lesbians are an increasingly visible political force with money to spend, an estimated $100 million windfall to the city. The Games have attracted little organized protest throughout the city. Some have disagreed with the decision to grant athletes and fans with AIDS special waivers to get into the country, while others have objected to the event on moral grounds.
This is anti-Christian, anti-biblical. The Bible condemns the homosexual lifestyle.
But the Games will begin tomorrow, inspired by the same spirit that distinguishes all athletic competition, the desire to achieve one's personal best. Rahema Ellis, NBC News, New York.
And the situation in Los Angeles remains tragic and bizarre and mysterious tonight. O.J. Simpson remains a fugitive. He has been charged with 2 counts of murder in the deaths of his ex-wife and a young man who was visiting her at the time. And tonight, this development, it turns out that a man called the condominium where his ex-wife had been living and said he was O.J. Simpson and he was on his way over. That attracted this kind of crowd of curiosity seekers and the media, of course, because Nicole Simpson's father ran outside yelling, "Call 911." Well, it turns out, it appears that it was some kind of a prank call, although we cannot be certain of that, as we are uncertain of almost everything at this hour. LAPD and the California State Highway Patrol continuing to look for O.J. Simpson tonight, who has been formally charged with 2 counts of murder. We'll have continuing updates throughout the evening on this NBC station, and we will have special bulletins for you just before the playoff game between the Knicks and the Rockets tonight, as well as halftime. For now, I'm Tom Brokaw, NBC Nightly News in New York.
NBC News, now more than ever.